Hey guys, welcome back to SLT Learning, and this is Ankit Prajapati, and today we're gonna cover another question on API testing and rest assured side. So if you're applying for a QA automation or API automation job role, I will suggest just go through our playlist which contain all the common questions that has been asked in real interviews. So we come up with the list of questions with the answer and the way you need to answer those questions in interview. You will see the proper description, not the too much information on the question. It's only the required information which is required to answer in an interview with the syntax, what kind of syntax you should speak about, or if they might be ask you about the syntax as well. So we keep those things in mind and we prepare the list of questions like that way. So if you're applying for a Q automation job, or one of your colleague is applying for the job, you can just go through this playlist, or you can share this playlist with them, and it will be helpful for the fresher as well and for the automation engineer as well. So let's see, the today's question for this video will be, what assertion can be performed in API testing? I would suggest this is most of the common questions, right? If even though if you're a fresher, they will definitely ask you, okay, what kind of assertion you do in API testing, or what exactly you validate in API testing. Okay, so there are a couple of ways they can ask this question. So validation on API testing or assertion in API testing, both are the same thing. And there are many things, to be honest, if you are experienced, you know this part, there are many things you can answer in this question. But let's we go one by one and like top 5 to 7 of this one. So status code assertion, like status code validation, so this is one of the very crucial. Okay, if the status code is coming correctly or not. Okay, so it's depend on, like, if something you are posting, or you are something you are creating something, then it will be the 201 or something like that way. 400 for the bad request, 401 for the unauthorized, 405 for not found. So this kind of the negative and positive testing you need to do in your API testing. So first things, you will always validate the response code. And how you can do it, this is the syntax I have given over here for test-ng, for the Selenium, for the rest assured, where you can just use assert equal response dot get response code. It should be 200. So like this way you can validate the status code or the response code or HTTP code for your API testing. It can be named anything. Okay, then response time. Okay, again, for when you work on API, the response time is very crucial, guys. So you need to always make sure you validate your response time as well, because if why we do the backend or API testing, we need to save the time. Okay, in UI it will take more time, but on API it could be a bit quicker. So we need to always make sure the response of the API that we are testing, it should be in a certain limit, and that limit may be decided by the developer or the business team. Okay, this API should respond in 2 minutes or 2 seconds, or I will just say the 6 seconds or something like that way. So based on that you can design your test case. So it says assert true if the response dot get time is less than 200 second. Okay, sorry, yeah, 200 millisecond means 2 second. Okay, this is the millisecond that we have given over here. So the status code assertion and the response time assertion. The next will be the response body. So whatever the data that we are getting as a part of the response of the API, okay, so that response body, using the response body we can do the certain assertion. Okay, like this value is available or not, or this particular information is matched to the what we exactly expected. So those kind of the steps you can do from the JSON path or XML path, or you can just get the body as a string. So for exact match, what syntax you can use, assert equal to response dot JSON path dot get name, and name should be exactly the John. Okay, if it is there, then it will pass. Again, contents, suppose you want to go with the contents, you are not sure about the exact value, but you need to sure about that specific word should be content and that particular area of the string. So what you can do, assert true response dot get body as a string content success, means it can be any success message, like your request has been sent successfully, or you are successfully request has been done, something like that way. So at that time you need to make sure these two things, exact match and content value. Okay, and these are the syntax. So another assertion or validation, response body assertion or response body validation, that you can do in your API testing. The next will be the JSON schema validation. You can validate the JSON schema by using this particular way, response.then, then assert that dot body match JSON schema in class path and schema.json. So if this JSON schema, right, whatever the JSON schema that you are aimed to validate in your response, you can validate like this way. So this is another validation or another assertion you can consider in your answer. Then header assertions, what kind of headers that has been passed and what are the headers you have received in the response, like the content type or level, just is the authorization or cache control. So those kind of assertion you can fetch, like response.get header, and you need to pass which header you want to get a response or get a data, like get header content type, and it should match with the application application / JSON. Okay, so this is called a header assertion or a header validation. Then after field or data type assertions, what kind of data type has been used, integer, string, and all those things. You can also do the assertion on that one as well. So it just says response.JSONPath.get ID, and ID should be instance of integer. So this kind of assertion you can put. So field and data type, field type or data type assertion or validation. So whatever you see in a blue line, you can speak the as an answer, and you can remember the couple of syntax. It is more than enough for you to answer this question. Okay, but I have covered some more on this one. So if you remember, if you go through tens, you can at least pick 5 to 6 in your interview. So that just says list size or array size assertion. Okay, so check the number of elements or number of values are available in that specific list that has been written by the your call. So just says assert equal response.JSONPath.get list, user size should be 10, means the total size of that list or array should be 10. So this is the path or this is the syntax you can use. Then value range assertion. Okay, so let's suppose if you are fetching some values from the response, okay, like this way, I want to get an age. So response.JSONPath.get integer age, and you can store in an integer variable, integer age variable, and then you can do the assert true, age should greater than equal to 18 and less than equal to 16. So these two lines, this is the one you can fetch the value, and then this is a simple Java test-ng assertion you can use to assert the value. But value range assertion, value range validation will be the part of the API testing. Then empty or null field assertion, you need to make sure that particular field that has received the value should not be null. Okay, it should contain, it's not about valid or invalid data, but it should contain certain data. So like this way, assert not null, and this get email, this email field should not be null. Okay, so just assert not null, response.JSONPath.get.email. So this is the one kind of assertion you can use. Then error message assertion, so you can just use the error message, what error message is contained. So assert equal to response.json.get error, and user not found or user not available kind of stuff. Okay, or password wrong or those kind of assertion you can put, like the error message assertion. Okay, and the same thing you can also use like exact match or contents value kind of stuff as well. It's pretty much similar, but it just says error message assertion. Okay, and the last one will be redirection assertion, redirection validation. So validate the response redirect to the expected URL or not. So how you can do that? Assert equal to response.get status code, this is 302, that indicate the redirection of the response, and then assert response.get header, and the location for get header location will be the new URL that you are expecting to be redirected from the existing one. So these two things, these two lines you need to write to do the redirection assertion or redirection validation. So let's quickly just summarize. So what kind of validation and what kind of assertion you can do? Status code, response times, response body assertion, JSON schema assertion, header assertions, field or data type assertions, list size, array size assertion, value range assertion, empty or not null assertion, error message assertion, and then redirection assertion. Okay, so if you like this video guys, please subscribe to our channel. We put some effort to create such video for you, so you can do very good in your interviews, and you can get the interviews and you can get a job. So please subscribe to our channel and keep sharing this video with your colleagues who are preparing for the key automation job role.